Ciao. Welcome back, everybody. It is Wednesday. This is episode 40. I have a special guest, and tonight, and my old friend, Gary Cucciolio from Everything Imaginable and Unity Manifest podcast.
Hey,
How are you?
all right.
We've done so many shows together. I don't even know where I should start for an introduction to you. We could talk about what you've written. We can talk about what you've done at least 600 podcasts at this point, 700.
600.
And those are just the ones
But
we've
but I
like.
haven't been podcasting lately. But you know what I've been thinking about today?
What?
Extraterrestrial turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Okay, wait. Before we get into extraterrestrial turkeys, for everyone listening, we are going to be doing a little bit of everything Gary and I have done. I have no idea how many podcasts we've done together. We've hosted, we've guest on each other's, we've hosted some amazing people. We've done, we've covered the gamut from extraterrestrials being impregnated into people to Dr. Richard Allen Miller and the first Hadrian Collider in the United States and underground bases and secret places in Antarctica. I mean, we've covered a lot of different stuff. So before we get to alien turkeys for Thanksgiving, um, you know, I don't know. Do you want to say anything about your background before we get going?
There is no such thing as the past or the future.
The point, there's only the now. So, in that spirit of things, and given what we've done over the years, let's just get right into alien turkeys then for Thanksgiving. So, for everyone listening, that's where we're starting. Where we end, I'm not going to be able to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I just made that up.
I don't know if you made it up so much as it's a possibility. I mean, what if, I mean, if we're in a one, there's like a possibility our turkeys even from this planet.
I think octopuses are not from this planet. There's
Yeah, a lot of
evidence
weird
of
things with
that.
octopuses.
But turkeys, it might be as earthly as you could possibly get. Gobble gobble.
You know what? It's like, did the Matrix say that everything tastes like chicken? If they don't know what it's supposed to taste like, it just tastes like chicken.
Yeah. So,
So why can't things just taste like? Is turkey really the Pepsi to chicken Coke?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Is that the other alternative taste? Because I don't think anything else tastes like turkey.
No.
Quite frankly, I have been happy to hear people admit that not only do they not like turkey, but that they're yes, I get it. It's a giant bird. It feeds a lot of people. If you cook it up, you have meals, and for those preparing meals, and especially in the pioneering days, cooking all that food would have lasted. You would have been able to feed each other for a few days and maybe make cooking a little easier. So I can see how having a turkey would be good. However, man, not the most interesting food. Or am I wrong? Am I wrong? I mean, I don't need to be right or wrong, but
Are,
it's like
are you saying you don't like turkey?
I didn't say the exact words of I don't like turkeys so much as turkeys don't like my taste buds.
Mm,
You like turkey.
well, I do like it. I like the Wawa gobbler.
I don't even know what that is. And do I want to digress further into what that is?
It's a gas station sandwich with turkey and stuffing on it.
This is a Jersey thing.
I don't know how many states Wawa is in.
Okay. So outside of alien turkeys, right? There we
Uh,
go. Okay. Outside of alien turkeys, what else have you been doing in the realms of, I mean, what, do we go consciousness or do we go anomalies in the universe and or on Earth?
well, I did have a nice near-death experience recently.
Okay. Now, both of us, for the background, you and I have both had near-death experiences, or we died and then we came back, sort of. So to count dying, or yeah, you and I both had this unique experience of having been dead. What was the last one?
Well, this most last one, I haven't talked about it yet publicly.
This is great, first for everything. So, what happened?
And it was also really, this one was is much more of a personal one than the other one that I had. But this one also happened during a seizure that I had about a month ago. And I left my body just like the last time, and it was peaceful and wonderful and nice and all those great things that we don't have here. And but then I saw my mom, and she was like much younger, and she told me to go back. And I was like, I don't want to go back. And then I felt something pull me back into my body, and it hurt. Like
Oh,
being back in my body hurt. It was like trying to put um I don't know, something bigger into something that's too small.
you mean that your spirit was bigger than your body?
Yeah. Yeah, like it was being compressed.
Did you
And
feel like you were being pulled or dragged back in by like a hand or
yeah,
something?
I felt like there was like other spirits around me this time pulling me back in. During my other near death experience, I did not encounter any beings of any kind. In this one, I saw my mom, and I felt something else with me, pulling
Did
me
it feel
back
good?
into my body.
Was it evil, good, bad, felt comforting, or was it like kind of fighting you, or what did that entity feel like?
Uh, Loving.
Okay, so it wasn't mean spirited. It was something good.
No, yeah.
Okay, what was the first time when you said you didn't see anything the first time? There were no entities. There was no. What was it like the first time? How long
The
ago was
first
that?
the first time was 4 or 5 years ago, and that one I was just in a nice black void. It was super peaceful, and it was like the colors sort of spinning around me with some sound. But what amazed me about that experience was there was no suffering or pain. It was the same thing in this one too. There was no suffering, there was no pain, there was no desire, there was no struggle, none of that shit. There was no time.
There was no time. So did it feel,
None of the bullshit that we have to deal with here in the 3D reality.
did it feel like a lot of time passed while you were there, or like you just didn't know how long you were there?
It
You
felt
just didn't
like
know
I
the
was
time.
there forever. It feels like home. It feels more real than this.
Did you see things, or were you like floating in a cloud? Was it black, white?
It
What did
was
you like?
it's not like anything you can describe, like it's really beyond what the human brain can conceptualize. That's why like I'm always been leery, like when I do some interviews on these kind of subjects where people are like, it's this way and that's it, because that's impossible, because as human beings our brain isn't able to conceptualize all this stuff.
So what would be the best way to describe? Were you in like a forest? Were you seeing anything? What
It
was it
was
like?
like it's almost like static.
So it's like white, like on a television static.
Yeah. But
Did you hear anything?
the static is love.
So it felt like love. You couldn't
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
anything.
like you're like completely surrounded by love. It's more of a feeling than it is a visual. It's like there's no visual. It was no visual of a forest, a visual of this. It was a feeling. It was a feeling of being surrounded by love.
So the first time that sensation, and I don't want to jump out of it. I want you to stick with the description. At the same time, I want to give a little context around it. You didn't see the first one coming. What it was? It wasn't a seizure. It was the first time it happened was a totally different situation.
It was a seizure, the first one. Both of them
Okay.
were.
And then do you have any idea how long you were actually out or no?
The first one I was out probably about 10 or 15 minutes. And I think this last one I was out for about 8 to 10 minutes.
It felt like an eternity.
There is no time.
Wow. So you had to be told how long you were gone. Otherwise, you wouldn't know.
That was one of the first things I asked. How long?
Because you had no concept of time.
No, no. And I'm aware of that when I have these things. That's like the first thing I ask when I wake up.
Like whether or not there was a time change or a time shift.
Yeah. Or just how long I was out compared to how long it felt like I was out.
All right. So when you're out like that, and this is the two times it's happened. So both times in the last 5 years, you've been basically gone. What would you describe it at all? Was it staticky both times, or did you feel like that was out of body? Or,
Both times I felt like I was surrounded by love.
my mind got completely deleted when I died. So I can't tell you anything. However, when you say love, did it feel like it was an individual of love, or was it a chorus? Was it an entity? Was it a being? Was it just felt like pure physical, like
Like a liquid, like I was swimming in it.
swimming in love,
Yeah. Floating
unattached?
in it, and I was a part of it, and it was part of me.
So there wasn't an entity or a person or a friend or a partner. There was nothing attached to it. It was just love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Love is like the environment.
Interesting. Could you hear
You know,
it?
you know how like water is the environment to a fish?
Yes.
It's like love is the environment in this other place.
Wow. So you didn't hear voices or music or
Well,
animals
I
or
mean,
breezes.
the second time I saw my mom,
Oh yeah.
but it was kind of like a shadowy, and she looked young, like younger than what I knew her as, She was at an age before she had me, which I thought was really strange, as a visual anyway. But the visuals I do think are created by my mind. Our mind creates the visual
Yeah.
to show us what information is being shown to us from another dimension.
Do you think did she speak?
She told me to go back.
That was it. I mean, well, that's a lot, but that was it. That was the instructions. Go back.
Yeah.
Was it commanding or was it loving the way she was saying it?
A little bit of both.
Commanding and loving that it wasn't
Yeah.
your time.
Yeah, you know how a mom can be.
Yeah. So you're going to be grounded if you didn't go back.
No re-entry if I don't go back.
Continue moving forward. This is a one-way door. So she was being all right. So she was being the TSA of
I mean, I have
moving
no
on.
evidence that it was even her. You know what I mean? Again, I do believe that the mind is interpreting information that's kind of inconceivable to us.
Right. So there's a level that you could comprehend and understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So what she do you know when she stood in front of you? Was she standing? Was she sitting? Was she like I feel like all these details, by the way, walk into this.
It was just ethereal.
Okay.
You
Just
know?
just ethereal. Just
Yeah.
that.
That's how you
Ethereal.
pronounce it.
Ethereal, oh, whatever. It makes sense. The but the reason I'm asking is because I feel like there's information, or maybe we can interpret more from the circumstances. Like maybe you guys were sitting on a bench or in front of a river, or like you said, it was all staticky, and then she appears in the static and says it's not time, you have to go back.
Yeah.
Did you feel like from the time she said that to the time you woke up, was it kind of like felt instant?
I felt something grab me and pull me. That's when I felt myself being compressed back into my body. And it
Like
hurt.
Yeah, because you didn't fit. Somehow your spirit was bigger and like jamming you back in that body didn't feel right. Didn't feel like it was the right size.
Yeah, I was kind of like, fuck this body, man.
Well, okay. So like
It is though. It was painful. It's the oddest thing. Like
well,
when we're in our bodies, like all of a sudden you realize like how pleasurable it is. Like when I woke up, it's like, oh wow, yeah, I'm back in this experience now.
mm,
You know, I'm back in this world where everything seems super real and solid and alive. Where in the other place it's not like that. But then it's like,
you,
okay, I'm back here. I can enjoy this. We do get to enjoy life through our five senses and through cognitive experiences.
what about the actual sensation of the immediate sensation of having been gone and come back? Did it feel initially different? And I'm referring to both times. You've died twice.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel that when you came back, you initially woke up, did you feel different hour one, hour 10, day one, you know what I mean, et cetera? Did it feel different coming
Yeah.
back than before when you died?
Oh, absolutely. Every time it's different. It's almost like reality is slightly different.
So what was it? Does it stick with you then? Because I know when I died, I felt like I was an avatar. I felt like I was my own avatar in my own body. Like I was sitting and watching my everything think and move. I thought it was all like I was there, but I felt like separate from it. Did you feel? What did you feel like again
I
over
I I,
time?
I didn't feel separate.
You just hurt in this body.
Well, when I was out there, it was beautiful. I'll say I think the big thing about people say like, what is the difference between out of body experience, near death experience, astral travel, and things like that? That's always been an interesting question to me, anyway. And one of the things I got out of this last near death experience is the big difference is I'm in their domain. I'm not meeting in some in between state. They're not coming here to meet me, or I'm not pulling information from an Akasha. What's happening is my spirit is jumping out into a place where it's connected to the creative force of the universe.
So of the people that you've gone Akashic records or had the out of body, and you've explored remote viewing. In all your interviews and all your research, does anyone in particular or a methodology stand out of what even I beyond what I just even suggested or said? Is there anything else that has stood out from other people having experiences that kind of or sounded similar?
That were
Yes.
similar to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've interviewed people that have had similar experiences. Yes.
So do you think
Yeah.
there's a
I mean,
commonality?
I've interviewed some of the, you know, you know, most prominent experts on near death experiences, like PMH Atwater and Eben Alexander, people like that.
And what was there? What anything stand out? I mean, those episodes are available, but is there anything about them that stands out of what that stuck with you about what they said?
But both of them validated my own experience.
Interesting.
And to get that from people who have listened to so many um, people telling their stories about near death experiences and collecting all that information and putting it, taking it and finding all the things that they have in common,
Uh,
and just so they're people that know how to recognize those experiences. I don't know. It just gave me like this idea. Like, it's like, okay, like this is actually real, because it's a hard thing to believe, especially when we're taught that, you know, we grow up in a world where we're taught Newtonian physics and that
Yeah,
consciousness isn't important.
which is odd because we've interviewed so many people on quantum mechanics and quantum physics, and we know that the right down to material sciences, it requires nanotechnology, which requires quantum mechanics, which requires not believing in Newtonian anything. It's more like the Newtonian side of it is just simply it's a shadow, or it's a mimic. It appears Newtonian. Everything really is more complicated for that experience for the soul consciousness. And of what they validated, was there anything that stood out in your mind about their thoughts on your personal experience compared to someone else's?
No, no, it just gave validation. I think validation is the big thing. It's like what I had. This experience was an actual valid experience. You know, it wasn't something I imagined. You know, it wasn't something that I experienced because my brain was whacked out.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's very questionable. Like when you have these experiences, and speaking from experience and observation, I think that it's very frustrating to second guess yourself. But it's not that you want. I don't know. I don't know about you. It's not that I want validation to know that I'm not crazy. It's more
I do.
questioning. Oh yeah, you do.
I'll take any less crazy as I can take.
So it helps to have died a couple times so that you can really validate yourself or validate yourself. Sure.
No, you know what? It kind of validates to me that we're living inside of a hallucination.
Oh, okay. Now, for those that are listening, there's a distinction between a hallucination and the matrix ideas. Why would you say it's a hallucination?
Actually,
And
there's no difference. It's we're living in a dream state. Like when I say like when I'm dead, that seems more real than this, or not, and I feel like I'm much larger and a much more expansive being than I am when I'm in in a body. Um, that tells me that this state is the less real one. This is that other state that feels like love is hallucinating this reality into existence.
so that other state is a single entity, or do you think it's collective dreaming?
Oh, shit, I have
Like,
no idea.
so
It has to be everything, actually.
it could be everyone, it could be one person, but in the end, does it matter if we're in if you and I are we hang up this call, if we stop this podcast and we want to get on the phone together, are we different entities or are we a manifestation of ourselves with each
Both.
other?
You know how my answers to these questions is always both.
No, which is why I'm setting you up so that we can discuss exactly
Yeah,
that. Can it be both?
because we that's one of the mistakes that we make as human beings is we look at things as this or that,
Playing the duality.
rather than like, okay, but if we can think that of both of these options, then really they both have to be true, just from different perspectives.
Okay, they're different perspectives, they're truths, but then does that change the manifestation of a reality? Does it change? Does my understanding of it change your reality, and does yours change mine, or do they cancel each other out? And don't say both.
Depends on which reality you're in. In one reality, they cancel each other out. In another reality, mine reality kicks your reality's ass. And then in another reality, your reality kicks my reality's ass.
You were really big on this when you were coming up with the rules for podcasting in the future. You're really big about exactly coming up with exactly something like this, where it's going to be maybe both. Look, split particle experiment, the idea, the duality of the observed experiment. So if each one of us is an experiment, and each one of us comes with the possibility of outcomes, the observations of each of us can affect the outcome, right?
Yeah.
So consciously or unconsciously, we're affecting each other's experiences, and so we are individuals, or we are not, or both. I can see how we can get circular, stuck in these not conclusions, but summations of this experience, right? You believe? Do you believe then that where you are having an individual experience and I'm having an individual experience along with the people watching or listening?
I think I'm having an individual experience. I think you're having an individual experience. I think the people that are watching are having an individual experience. And I think together we're having a collective experience, because you cannot have a collective without a bunch of individuals to collect.
All right. So does the observation of the many change the observation of the individual? Is it both
Absolutely.
ways?
Both ways.
Okay.
It's a weird feedback loop.
So if we are manifesting, when we are manifesting, not if. So in the observable conscious planes, if we do want to continue to manipulate and not manipulate, uh, manifest. No, that's the point. Unity Manifest podcast. I mean, that's where that got birthed out of everything imaginable. Um, what? How would you? Maybe that's the leading question. How does everything go from maybe everything to unity? How is there unity? Is it unity in manifesting, or is manifesting?
Well, the podcast thing was how did it go? Everything is now unity, and imagination is now manifest. So it was sort of like an up one from everything imaginable. You know,
It's an evolution of the conscious.
because one of the things that I sometimes get frustrated with the podcast and with the guests and things is a lot of people are just sort of repackaging the same thing and selling it in a different way.
So,
You know, so it's like, yeah, you know, we got these spirits, we got that kind of spirits, you got some Kabbalah over here, you got people doing runes over here, you have people working with guardian angels over here, you have paranormal people over here, you have Bigfoot people over there, you have some government conspiracy people and secret space program people. You know, it's a lot of stuff, but in the end, it's all the same thing. And I think we get lost in all these differences. You know, all these things are being created by consciousness. That's all they are. They're all just different forms and variations of consciousness, different realities that are being collaborated and manifested.
Okay. So then, changing and evolving then into unity. Does it? Is the idea to get rid of the? Is it? Do you consider it static noise? Do you feel like there is a way to look at this in a singular way with singularity? Is there a way to like eliminate all the different versions of the same information?
Um, so are you kind of I'm not really sure what you're asking. Are you asking me like about like a God mode?
Well, no. Here's the deal. It's like you said. There's people who believe there's the paranormal. There's the Sasquatch and the Bigfoot, and then there's the little tiny aliens and the big aliens and the all the different aliens and all the different Deep Space Nine versions. Then you have all like the angelics and that stuff and the super soldiers and there's all these different the cabals and the various things that people are suggesting are this is the way things are. This is the reality of the universe, or this is the reality of our planet Earth and what's making the sun go around.
Mhm.
However you want to put it. So is do you think there's a way to speak through or cut to the greater points? Is that one of the goals? Is that a goal even?
Yeah. The point is that we're co-creating all of this. We get to decide to a certain extent anyway what is real and what is not real within a certain framework that we're allowed to create within.
Right. In that creation of what's real and what isn't, do you feel like it's something that can be tangibly latched onto?
In the end, none of it's real. It's all in the end is a hallucination of a hallucination of a hallucination of a hallucination.
How do we ride that wave, Gary?
We're doing it right now. Doing it just fine.
There's no wrong way to do it.
No.
All gold medalists in the psychedelic Olympics.
Mm.
Not. So of the people you've interviewed, of the hundreds of interviews, has anyone stood out to you with a unique perspective?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, name a couple. Or name a couple of unique, or speak to a couple of unique perspectives.
Yeah. There was this one guy who was looking for piezoelectric properties in the soil of Peru.
I've not paid Gary to say this, but please continue.
And he had wrote this book called It's Not Aliens, It's Worse. It's Us.
Okay.
Do you know this? Do you know this guy?
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that? Would you actually say that I have a unique perspective on stuff?
Yes.
All right. All right. So, well, it's true. So for people who don't know,
And sometimes it's a bit almost the opposite of mine too.
in what way?
I don't know. I think sometimes you're more skeptical of the woo-woo. You always have been.
I think I'm more pragmatic about it. I think it's real, but I think it's real. What we would call woo-woo is the high sciences that created us, that we developed. I think to be what we are, I think like Graham Hancock says, we're in safe mode. We're a species with amnesia. So when we say we have, I do not think to agree with you first, paranormal, second sights, psychic experiences, things that we may call alien, and like the way twins connect, uh, the way that we download or have these different versions of experiences of spirituality. I don't think they're just connected or how we connect to the earth or the way that it's described within current cultures and dynamics that have all been developed in the last 5 to 10,000 years. And so, in speaking all that, I think that we have tens of millions, hundreds of millions of years of human history. Michael Cremo speaks to it, extreme human antiquity. And it's not just that there's extreme human antiquity, there's extreme human evolutions and refinements. So the things that we take as woo-woo or get described as woo, I think I don't want to make that not be less spiritually significant or less magical. I think that a lot of what we're describing as those things are actually extremely advanced um, evolutions and sciences that we have now forgotten and now take as in quotes nature. So our connections with the earth, our physical and mental and emotional connections with plants and animals, I do not think we just have an instinct for it. I think those developed abilities at one point. I mean, the Bible references it, right? We used to talk to animals. Everybody forgets that. We used to speak with animals. And then plants, there are plenty of people now that'll say, I talk to my plants and we've done these tests on it. And so I just imagine that within It's Not Aliens, Worse, It's Us, what I try to do in a big global umbrella was to say, hey, look, all of these things are related together because we developed it all, is all I'm thinking, is what I'm thinking. So I'm not skeptical that there are true abilities. I'm skeptical of people putting a few 100-year-old or 5,000 or 8,000-year-old that's modern society's label, mystical label on something that is, you know, uh, 100,000 years ago, or doing the Sumerian kings list of before flood, pre-Diluvian flood kings list. We're talking about a high society of Atlantean cities that we call Atlantean, but back then maybe survivor cities from a catastrophe even before 12,000 years ago, of advanced humans that had these abilities. And we went, and all we have to reference is mostly religions and modalities from the last 5,000 years back to Sumeria. So we just relate to what we know. That's too long of an answer, isn't it? That's too long of a comment, right?
Yeah.
Saying,
So yeah, there's ancient civilizations too.
right. So I don't want to make it all technical. It's not a matter of like we think of technology as a switch or a power button, or our computers or our phones. We think on off. We think of it as external. It's really, really hard for us to imagine that the connections with the earth and the soils, that our physical bodies have nuclear cold fusion going on, and that we have this ability to maybe connect beyond the planet, that within the ionosphere and within the waves and frequencies of what's coming through the sun, that our biggest receptors for information is the human skin, and its ability to understand at a cognitive mental level frequencies and energies that are entering through the skin, contain information, but not information that we can process right now, but may manifest in dreams, and may manifest in meditations, and may manifest in um, a walk, and now it's a gut feeling or it's an instinct. Whereas again in the past, and then maybe it comes to us in dreams and we have a more complete vision of something or a future or an awareness, knowing, in quotes, a download. And I think that there was a point, at least one epoch of time, where humanity could do this consciously. It wasn't a manifestation of prayer, or and not downplaying prayer distinctively. It would have been conscious abilities. As externally as we look at a light switch, this is an internal conscious ability to speak with, consciously communicate and understand, not maybe have a dialogue with a tree or a fungal network that's connected to a forest, but maybe a sensation of being able to absorb the information that would then visually, in a synesthesia way, describe, oh, our solar system is passing through this nebula. In your mind's eye and mind, we can actually experience and see, visually see, taste, feel, and touch the very travel of the stars, the planets, let alone what somebody's doing on the other side of the earth, or how trees are feeling the breeze go through it. Is that like over the top? Does that sound woo woo enough?
Jared, you are made of stardust.
Namaste. Yes, we are all stardust. And that's why Krispy Kremes are so good, right?
They are good. I like
Really good.
Twinkies better.
I like Whoopies. And you guys on the East Coast, like whoever figured out Whoopies, hell yeah. I mean, what a dumb name, but what a one hell of a, you know, yeah, that's a thing. Don't you want a Whoopie?
No. No, I would never eat a Whoopie.
I'm not.
I don't know why any human would eat a Whoopie.
They're basically Hostess Suzy Q's, except I had no idea Suzy Q's were a crappy version of a Whoopi.
No, no.
Oh, you never liked Whoopies growing up?
Mm-mm. Twinkie, Yodel.
What the heck's it? Wait, what is that? Well, I don't know what a yodel. Yodel? Is it like a frozen thing? Is it like an ice cream with chocolate or what?
Devil dog.
Oh man. Wait, are you talking about a chocolate dipped Twinkie?
Yeah. That was dry.
You know what? I remember when those came to Minnesota when I was growing up, when they called Twinkie Hostess called them Choco Dials. I have no idea why the hell crocodile and chocolate, why a Twinkie dipped in chocolate was a chocodile, but they called it a chocodile. They did not call them chocodiles where you were.
Devil dog.
Ah, that sounds like a way better name.
It is
That
a
little
good
Debbie.
name.
Well, we had devil splinters. I mean, we had the little Debbie devil splinters. Definitely eat my share of those.
Yeah.
No, were you not a little Debbie fan?
Yeah, I like Little Debbie's.
I mean, a box of chicken for $1, 99 cents is amazing. I mean, it had to have been all super good for us, right?
Scooter pies.
Never had one.
Moon pies.
Okay, definitely had a moon pie. Not a fan.
Hood cakes.
Okay, we are moving so far from manifesting anything. This is so. I don't you think like when is there some of this stuff you want us to keep in the loop? You've done remote viewing. You know, you believe remote viewing is real.
It's all real.
Why do you think remote viewing can be done? Or do you think you
Well,
can do it better in a group? Do you think it's better to be done in a group or
I think in a group you have more data to compare against.
so do you think there's more people having a true experience during because you learned look for everybody listening, you learned from one of the CIA guys that was part of the Men Who Stare at Goats program, right?
Yes.
Louis, I forgot what was his name again.
Dave Morehouse.
And so this guy one of the original remote viewers.
Yes, he was there with people like Russell Targ and Uri Geller and all of them.
So you how long was that course with him? You were learning directly from him.
Yes.
Was it cool?
It was cool. Yeah. Yeah. Psychic abilities are real.
And how many people did you remote view with, like at a time when you were in the group?
I don't know what it was, maybe 20, 15 in the class.
All right. I know we covered remote viewing before, but you feel like it's real. Do you think it's feel like it's is it the collective group that's making it happen, or is it each people?
It's everything already exists at one time. There's no such thing as time. It's omnipresence.
Your ability to remote view, or you're saying the events of your
Uh, Omnipresence explains remote viewing and pretty much all psychic ability.
have you had a psychic ability or experience outside of remote viewing?
I mean, all it is data, right?
Uh, is it data? Are you saying that remote viewing, the act of remote viewing, is something that can be done to see the remote viewing and to watch what is happening is because it's already happened, or because the group can amplify and hit those targets?
Both.
All right. So did you have any remote viewing experiences that stood out?
They all did. I mean, it was amazing how accurate I was and how accurate some of the other people were also. It was unbelievable, you
Was
know.
your
But
was
then you
your
realize, like, yeah, you know, what's this guy's what's more important than the remote viewing and the experience is the reason why it does work. And the
which
reason why
is
it's because of omnipresence. There is no space and time. Space and time are just part of reality. But there's something outside of space and time. And that connects too with the near my death experiences. You know, again, it takes you to this place where there is no space and no time.
so, and that last experience was just a little while ago,
Yeah.
like basically barely a week.
Yeah. Space and time, it's like a prison.
So if there was, do you think space and time is necessary to the experience of life though?
I think it's necessary to um, the illusion that this experience is real.
So when you were remote viewing, was your instructor present during the remote viewing? Was he part of it?
Yes.
Do you feel like he amplified it at all?
No.
Being one of no.
No. I
Okay.
feel like this is an innate ability that every human being has. It is nothing supernatural about it at all.
Your ability to remote view then is something that could you practically apply remote viewing to your personal health or uh, personal circumstances? Is it like
I think
useful?
technically you should be able to apply your consciousness to do anything.
So it could be restorative. It could be for, I mean, health practices. I mean, you could. I
Yes,
like
you should
humans
be able to heal yourself.
in the realm of. So it would be very adjacent to what some people would consider spiritual healing.
Yeah. Well, but it's nothing spiritual about it. You're just you're just imagining it into existence like you're imagining everything else into existence. But you're
So
doing but you're doing it without the limitations that you were told were there but are really not there.
so you had some pretty unique remote viewing, as you said, that within the group. Would you say that the group itself had any? Did you hear of any remote? Well, with it, of what you experienced, what was some of the? Did it shake you up at all, or was any of the remote viewing really stunning or stood out?
I mean, all of it was very accurate. The way the people um, picked up on the targets was amazing. You know what's the scariest thing about it is the government's using it and knew about it in the 60s. If the government was using this stuff in the 50s and 60s, can you imagine what they're doing now?
Yeah, you gotta wonder about the manifest. Like what kind of things is it? It does remote viewing then bleed over into manifesting, and if you're able to remote view, just are you able to manifest some um, to affect what you're remote viewing, right?
Right. And if the government knows this, right, they're manifesting this.
Right. Then you gotta wonder whether or not that's yeah, you have to wonder the agendas behind that.
Yes. Like
Okay.
what like why would something behind the government want to manifest this reality?
Well, don't you think that's a collective manifestation, though? So, do we perpetuate it just by the experience of where we are on the planet and what collective opinion groups we're in? I'm going to say opinion groups. So, do you think that the groups of people within those um, do you think ideologies are affecting what's being manifested?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
That's what seems to be one of the common denominators in this reality is cults. Everybody seems to belong to some cult or another,
so when we
whether
get
it's
back to
religious or political or
so when we look
corporate.
at okay, so what about some of the earliest stuff, some of the stuff that was coming around when paranormal and seances, when we look at some of the early adopters of or the some like crawling,
Hmm.
are we looking then? Do you feel like people like that really change things?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Crawley, Madame Blavatsky, all of those people.
Do you still think there's a lasting impact from their experiences?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They were the ones who really brought ancient secrets into the light for everybody. You
Why
know,
them in
they
terms?
took it from the secret societies and just gave it for everyone to use.
Do you think there would have been Eastern philosophers? Do you think it's just because we're in the West, we're missing who did this in the East? But do you think there are paralleled psychics or people that were doing things in Russia or in China or in Indonesia or Malaysia? Do you think they're on any of the island nations? Do you think there's other people within the time frame that would have been doing the same work? I always feel like it's like we just talked to. I feel like we touch base on the Western ones, and I can't think of anyone in the East. But I gotta wonder. There must be. Maybe there
Well,
were.
during in the East, you had people like Yogananda.
Oh, I am unfamiliar. Who's that?
Um, um, what he was, Swami monk
Okay.
guy, could do miracles. So you have to read the book, but yeah, there's a lot of Swami stories, like autobiography of a yogi by Yogananda. Um,
Hmm.
and there's a whole bunch, there's the stuff out there from like Ram Dass, wrote about like a lot of it. Um, Alan Watts wrote about a lot of that kind of stuff.
Right. And they're not. They're overlapping.
Huxley.
Do you think any one of them are I don't know. They're basically it's more of a chorus singing the same thing. It's not like any of them are standing uh, far from the same master.
Yeah, it's all the same ancient secret.
Is it a secret or is it just amnesia? Like we just don't
Well,
remember.
I would say it was a secret until like the people like you just mentioned, Crawley and people like that. Um, but I think what happens is, and I think this is one of the reasons we use this term awakening quite often, is because it's right in front of us, but we don't understand it or see it until we're ready. So we have these awakenings, these epiphanies, and then we're like, oh wow, how could I have missed like all of this, And then we get used to it, and then we adjust, and then we have another one. So it's kind of like a video game.
Okay. So it's not it's like a video game. So do we get how many lives do we get?
As many as you want.
What's as long as you want to keep learning the lessons. Do you think that's an accurate description that we come back to like, continue to learn or we keep manifesting to learn the same lessons over and over until we learn?
I think there's some truth to it. I like the term that we are the universe experiencing itself. And those lessons that we learn are contributing to the creative force of the universe.
Yeah.
That's just my own personal take on it right now until I change my mind tomorrow.
Yeah, because tomorrow doesn't exist. We just have now.
That's it.
For the people that are speaking on it, does anyone stand out to you, or do you feel like there's a way to live it better, or live it differently?
Yes. Yeah. Could definitely live it better, live it differently.
So is that the food you eat? Is that the meditations you do? Do you have anything visually that stands out for you as a practice, or you would suggest?
Mm. I think it's different for every person. I think every person needs to first kind of get in touch with themselves and really find their own um, path, their own niche, and whatever fits the individual comfort, because we're all made up of a different set of patterns.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's available there for people that are interested, people who want to expand consciousness or try to become more aware of things, or have some experiences where that we consider supernatural but are really kind of natural.
Hmm. All right. So it's not a full lie because a lot of people who are like maybe listening to the idea of, hey, I want to start on something, I want to go somewhere with this for myself. Does would you point anyone to a particular, like I could think of there's a lot of different books, podcasts, things, our podcast sort of things. Is there places that you would send someone to say, look, just to kind of get started on this or learn about it? Is there anything that stands out, whether it's a book, podcast, or music? I don't know anything.
Hmm.
I asked this as a
I would say one of the first books that I read that really kind of pushed me in this direction was a book called Frequency by Penny Pierce. That was one of the first books I read that really started to put science, magic, the occult, and Eastern and Western philosophy all together into one.
interesting. And it's called Frequency.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've interviewed her a couple times.
Cool. Would you talk to her again?
Yeah. She's super nice.
Is she still writing?
Yes.
So is she living what she's writing?
Hmm?
Cool.
You're,
Is she in the, let's see. Is she in America?
you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, is she American?
Yeah.
We should have her on time here after the holidays.
Yeah, she's cool.
So it's a book you would recommend, though.
Yeah. I mean, there's other books out there, like, Manly Hall.
Don't know.
Yeah, he has his book sort of puts it all together. Obviously, Madame Blavatsky's, what's the name of the book? The Theosophy book. I forget the name of it. What other books are out there? Like those are the old school books, But I would say for modern people, definitely like Penny Pierce was one that made sense.
Okay. Well, that's something for people to start on. The reason I'm asking this is a self-reflective thing. People will ask me, it's like, what should I learn, or not what they should know, but where should they start? Don't even know how to ask the question, like, where do I start? They don't know. They don't have that question to. They don't have that. And I hesitate to put anyone on a path because if you the subject matter and learning this for oneself, there's so many different avenues how people are wired. It's hard to get people there's no cadence. I don't have a, it's not like we can just go an EKG and say, this is a range of normal, or this is the way to learn in what order.
Yeah, I think people don't realize like what a vast world metaphysics really is.
Yeah. And there's the thing is like it's deceptive. I think even it's like it is the world of people are drawn to the word metaphysics, or they're drawn to a philosophy. They're drawn to an angle. They're drawn to the words. They want the matter. They want the substance, but they're not drawn to words like history or extreme human antiquity, or that one is scientific and one is this ethereal.
Yeah.
And they're both. It's really hard for me to have been able to, if I make the mistake of saying, uh, it's not a mistake, but if I describe something not ethereal or manifesting, or if I use something that sounds more scientific or sounds, maybe it sounds mechanical or mathematical, I think it's, people can get, it's interesting. It's like we have these natural programmed walls, it seems like. Maybe it's not walls, resistance. We just have pre-programmed resistance to some of these things, to getting to the heart of the matter, the getting to the meat of it for each of us. It seems like we need to have some keywords or to even look at the puzzle or to open the book.
Yeah, that's part of the point, I think, is the resistance. You know, that's why I'm glad I have a guest who would come on and he would talk about Ohm's law, like, and how, and just how that applies to pretty much everything.
Oh, I've not heard this. What is Ohm's law?
The law of resistance from electricity, you know, like
Oh,
electric.
that law.
So, yeah,
I thought you meant
yeah.
ohm as in like the great ohm.
No, no.
I thought it was a chant thing. You mean actual electrical
But
resistance.
it is kind of funny that they are both ohm, though.
One is how much resistance is an electrical. So for those that don't know, it's like how much when electricity travels through copper, there is resistance, and you can insulate it. It can be external, it can be within the size of the cup. There's a lot of different ways your ohms work. And I thought it was ohm as in the chant, as in the that uh, vibrational frequency of the everything. But no, you really mean the ohm, that sign, the
Truthfully,
electrical ohm.
you could say both ohms are the same ohm. Who is to say that the original ohm is not the original resistance? And without that resistance, there is nothing. Without entropy, there is nothing.
There's the soul, as in the sole point of even gravity is within, or the universe spinning itself is based on ohm as a resistance, as an ohm, as ohm as a or
I think, you know,
resistance.
like kind of like the god Kali.
In the sense of relational resistance, in the sense of relational, what way?
That creation itself is resistance.
Resistance to really, and creation, I think a lot of people could assume the opposite, but what would be the opposite? What would be the antithesis to
Because if you don't have resistance, nothing stays together, right? Because if there's no resistance, the opposite of resistance would be non-resistance, which would be apartness, right?
you know,
Or is resistance apartness and apartness the opposite of resistance? Maybe I have that backwards. I don't know.
so who should we like? So you've interviewed frequency author a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like somebody worth talking to. I don't know if she'd come on QS.
Yeah, I could see.
Oh, cool.
You
That'd be
know,
something too.
she might have some hookups that some Atlantean hookup too.
Oh, she's in the Atlantean crowd,
Oh yeah.
so she knows a little bit more than the average bear about Atlantis.
I think she knows
Is it
about Atlantis and you know, the Arcturians and stuff like that.
okay? So this is good. We're going to cover Atlantis, Arturians, and anything. This is that would be a fun one. There's a few people we've interviewed in the past. I don't know. Is there anyone sticking out that we should interview
Hmm.
else?
You know who you should get? Eric J. Hacker.
Okay, who is this?
Look him up.
Those listening, leave some comments.
He's my most listened to episode.
What, over you and I?
Yeah.
People?
Yep.
So what does he cover?
Antarctica.
Okay. All right. Okay. For that matter, Brad
But
Olson
but,
just
but
came.
you have to be the one to reach out to him.
I will. Brad Olson just did another interview with us a few months ago when he was releasing his new book on Antarctica. Let's get Brad back on.
Brad's a nice guy.
That's such a great guy.
Yeah, I've had him a couple times.
Uh, over the years, we've interviewed him. I've interviewed him. had him on RKOX. We're gonna have to. He's such a great guy, and he'll take time from wherever he's at. So that's another one we should have if we're gonna talk. We're
You
gonna
should
talk
have
about
Richard.
Dr. Richard. So that's another option. So we have some options for next time. I know people are going to the holidays this year. Is there anything else we should cover before we wrap it up tonight?
I don't know.
Is there anything else you want to speak to? I mean, you've been on
Santa,
a hiatus.
Santa Claus does angel dust.
Okay. That's exactly where we're gonna period. That's exactly where we're gonna period this one. Yeah. And we won't even say why Rudolph has a red nose. So is there anything you want to add about upcoming shows or Unity Manifest podcast or everything imaginable? Is there anything you want to
right now it's sort of haven't been doing it. But
well, you've done.
I've been taking some time off for myself, trying to
All right.
work on my own life.
Which we're going to get to, by the way.
And I also am starting to enjoy this a little bit more than doing my own podcast.
Doing a little more, yeah, you know what?
Being a guest, because being a guest is a little bit easier.
You don't have to do all the work, and you were doing all the setups.
People ask me questions, and I just say stuff.
You know, after
it doesn't even matter if it makes sense.
After 600 podcasts, I guess you can go down that road and say whatever you want. Hey, we're going to cover this after the show tonight. So if you're good, I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to thank everybody for coming, and stay tuned, and I will talk to you in a minute. All right?
All right.
Okay, great.